Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, Upgrade Your Dashboards with a New Look, Custom Colors, and More. My name is Anna and I'm a Product Marketing Manager here at Smartsheet. Our agenda today will focus on dashboards as well as talking about the Smartsheet product roadmap. We're going to start with an introduction to dashboards, so really talk about what dashboards are and their structure. We'll move on to discussing the new dashboard experience, so the capabilities that have recently been released and changed how you work in dashboards. And then we'll move into a demo where we discuss both of those items. So look at those new capabilities and also understand the structure of a dashboard and the different widgets that are used to build dashboards in Smartsheet. We'll finish up today by talking about our product roadmap. So I'll mention a few things that we have coming up both in dashboards as well as the greater Smartsheet platform. And I'll also tell you how to register for our upcoming webinar, which is going to be a product release catch-up of sorts. We've released a lot of new capabilities so far in 2021, and we'll have a webinar a couple weeks from now where I will review all of those. It's a great opportunity to catch up in a quick 30-minute session. Lastly, I'm going to share some additional resources and webinars, including a new Smart Start onboarding series to learn best practices about a variety of topics, an opportunity to sign up for product release notifications to make sure you're on top of all of these new capabilities, and more. So we're going to get started with an introduction to dashboards. A dashboard is a way for you to create a customized view of data, content, and resources. So in other words, a dashboard is a fully customizable experience where you as the owner or as an admin on a dashboard can include exactly the information that you need to provide to your dashboard audience. And this can include data from the sheets and reports that you have in Smartsheet. It can include additional content and resources, so text, images, shortcuts, as well as embedded external content like Tableau dashboards, YouTube videos, Microsoft and Google documents, and more. A dashboard consists of drag and drop widgets. So all you're doing when you're creating a dashboard, you're simply creating a widget, selecting the type of information that should be in that widget, and then dragging and dropping it to structure your dashboard. You can then share a dashboard directly in Smartsheet. You can publish a dashboard to make it available at a public URL, similar to how you would access a website, or you can embed a dashboard either in a Smartsheet work app, in an external tool like Microsoft Teams, or other tools that can take an embed code. A dashboard is created using 8 different widget types, and I like to think of these as really 3 areas of widgets. You're going to format your dashboard, so really structure the outline and organize the information you've included using a title widget, a rich text widget, and this is a great way to write an introduction or include contact information, and an image widget, which can incorporate a logo or additional images to support the goal of your dashboard. Most people, when they think of a dashboard, really think about that live, real-time data. And with a Smartsheet dashboard, there's 3 ways to incorporate that. You can use a metric widget, which you're going to use to select specific cells out of your underlying sheets to include in a dashboard. So this is typically used for more high-level information, statuses, and so on. You can create a report and then embed the whole report into a dashboard. And this is a way to include more dynamic information, maintain that grid, so still view the columns and rows, and even include an optional Gantt chart. Or you can create a chart. So a chart can help you visualize data that otherwise lives in a sheet or a report. Lastly, you can incorporate external content. And this is a great way to really take that dashboard from being Smartsheet focused to include a one-stop shop for everything related to your process or your program or whatever the goal of your dashboard is. You can include links to external resources, like if your team has documents outside of Smartsheet or they spend a lot of time working in a tool like Jira or Salesforce. You can link to all of those for convenience directly out of your dashboard, or you can use the web content widget to embed content directly in a dashboard. So you can embed videos, maps, documents, even other dashboards like Tableau. Now that we're familiar with really the structure of a dashboard, let's talk about what's new. So what recent changes have we made to the dashboard capability? First, we've simplified the user interface. And if you've used dashboards, you know that we have some capabilities at the top menu, some on the right, and we've consolidated all of this under a simplified File, Edit, and View menu in the top left. We've moved the widget editor into the right panel. And this may seem like a small change, but this is actually the one I'm most excited about because it's going to make working in and updating your dashboards so much more efficient. Previously, if you wanted to edit a widget, you would have a pop-up where you could make changes, save them, look at your dashboard, and kind of go back and forth until you had it looking exactly how you wanted. Now, all of your editing is in the right panel, so you are simultaneously making changes and seeing the results of those changes in your dashboard on the same screen. Lastly, and this is one I think all of you will be excited about because this is a very popular customer request, custom colors. So we've incorporated the ability to customize colors using hex codes or RGB to make sure that your dashboard has that familiar look and uses your brand colors and really allows you to personalize the experience for your organization. Now that we have talked about the basic Smartsheet dashboard structure, as well as the newest capabilities that are going to change how you work in dashboards, let's go ahead and move into our demo. We're going to kick off our demo in the Smartsheet Solution Center, and you can access the Solution Center anytime by navigating to the left menu and selecting the plus button. The Solution Center is where you can start creating a dashboard or another Smartsheet item type, like a sheet or a report, by selecting Create or importing to create a sheet. For dashboards, you can select Create to start from scratch. So to start with a blank slate and start building your dashboard with the widgets that we've discussed. Today, to start with a pre-built dashboard, we're going to look through and either browse or search for a template set, and set is the important word here because that tells you you're downloading more than a single sheet. That is going to include typically a sheet, a report, maybe a few reports, and at least one dashboard. We're going to be using the Project Schedule Management template set today, and you can watch a video about how this template set works, or you can select Learn More and click through to download this template set for your own use. Templates and template sets are available to licensed Smartsheet users because you do need a license to be able to actually own your own work and create your own work in Smartsheet. Now, you don't need to download this template set to follow along in today's webinar since I'll be going through a demo. But if you're seeing this structure and you do want to use these sheets, reports, and dashboards for your own work, you can just select Get Template Set Now, and you're going to have a folder that'll be added to your Sheets folder in Smartsheet, and you'll see here this template set includes a single sheet, 3 reports, which we'll talk about in just a moment, as well as our dashboard. Now, the important thing before you're building a dashboard or before you are looking to understand the structure of a dashboard is to really understand the building blocks in Smartsheet. So we're going to take a brief step back and start by looking at our project plan sheet, which I have open in a separate tab here. Our project plan sheet that we've downloaded with this template set includes a project plan structure. So pretty typical. We have our primary column with the hierarchies. We have a symbol column to provide a visual status on how each of our tasks is going. And of course, we're tracking important dates, task completion, status, assignment, and have our Gantt chart enabled by switching over to our Gantt view since this is a project plan. Your sheet in Smartsheet is the core of all of your work. So this sheet is created and has data that we can then surface in our dashboard. And in addition to having access to the information in the sheet structure when we're building our dashboard, we also have the sheet summary section available here in our right panel where you're able to add data to summarize what is taking place in your sheet. So here in our dark blue row, we have some great roll-up information to understand how our project is progressing. And I also like to provide some high-level information in the sheet summary. So tracking who a project is assigned to, and the responsible stakeholders, links to important other items. So maybe an actual link to the dashboard for this project, high-level metrics, even formulas, and more. Also part of our template set, we have 3 reports. And a report in Smartsheet has several different purposes. A report allows you to bring together information from multiple sheets into a single place, and you can enable which sheets should be included in a report up here at the top. It also allows you to focus by selecting only the columns you want to see out of that underlying sheet. So report is a great way if you have a sheet that you're scrolling back and forth on a lot to really create this focused view and look at the columns that are important. A report is also a filtered view. So you can see here, I don't have all of the rows from our project plan. I filtered it to only see that high-level information about the progress of each phase. A report also provides a grouping and a summary. So I can actually organize the data in my report. So if I had a list of tasks by everyone on my team, I could organize by status, I could organize by who they're assigned to, and I can add a summary for each of those organized groups, incorporating a function that is pre-built into the report capability, which means you don't have to write a formula, the report will take care of that for you. So now that we understand those 2 important building blocks, sheets and reports, we move on to looking at the dashboard that came with our template set. Any dashboards that you have, we're currently in a 60-day period where you can toggle between the 2 views. And of course, that's a really great time to get familiar with the new dashboard capability. I'm going to go ahead and click this yellow button in the top left to see the new look, and you won't notice a large difference into what is actually making up my dashboard. It's going to be the experience, so how you work in a dashboard, as well as some of those additional editing capabilities and custom colors. First, you're going to notice that all of the different dashboard capabilities, so buttons that we previously had on the top, on the right, really kind of all over the place, are organized in the top left. So some important capabilities that I'll point out, for example, under the File menu is where you are going to find your activity log, which is a running history of any changes or views that are taking place in your dashboard. And activity logs are also available in other Smartsheet items, as well as the ability to publish. And publishing is a way to share your dashboard, but instead of indicating exactly which individual should have access, you can publish to create an easily accessible URL. So once I've done that, this URL is going to be available just like a website. So anyone you share this with can visit this URL and view your dashboard. And anytime you're sharing a dashboard, whether published or directly in Smartsheet, all of the data you're including doesn't require that the dashboard viewer has access to those underlying sheets and reports. So especially if you're working with other teams or departments or even external stakeholders that are not part of your organization, publishing is a really easy way to share a dashboard. Both of those capabilities are under our new File menu. Under the Edit menu, this is where we start talking about actually updating your dashboard, adding widgets, customizing, and working in the structure. And this is available to anyone with admin or owner permissions on a dashboard. And then lastly, we talk about viewing. So I mentioned already, you can share a dashboard, you can publish a dashboard, and then there's also an auto refresh. So if you have a dashboard and of course the underlying sheets are constantly being worked in, you can have Smartsheet automatically refresh it to make sure you're looking at the most current data. The auto refresh is also great. We definitely have customers who have their dashboards up on a monitor or a TV screen in the office, and this makes sure that you don't have to manually refresh to have current data. As we talked about back on our slides, the structure of a dashboard consists of widgets. So everything that you're seeing here is one of the 8 widget types that we talked about. To really visualize and see where these widgets are, because of course everything is on a white screen right now, I'm going to come into the dashboard settings on the right and turn my background gray. And this really gives you visibility into the different widgets because you can now see where the widgets lie and you can see the overall structure of the dashboard. Let's talk about widget types then to really understand how a dashboard is built. When you're ready to start adding widgets, you just click the plus sign over on the right panel. And this is a list of the widgets that we talked about back in our slides. You'll also see a brief explanation of each of these widget types, and most of our widgets are already included in the dashboard that we are looking at out of the Solution Center. Let's talk about what we're seeing and the corresponding widget type and how it works. We're going to start with the title of our dashboard. And you can work on a widget by selecting the 3-dot menu and selecting Edit. Here I can change the name of my dashboard, as well as format the color, text size, and more. In addition to a title widget, I can also incorporate a rich text widget, which is a great way to provide an introduction to the dashboard. This is what the dashboard is for, important contact information, and more. To the right of our dashboard, we have an image widget, which is at the bottom here. And an image is a great way to add visual information to your dashboard to support the goal of your dashboard or simply to incorporate a logo. So over here, we have a placeholder and I can head into the edit panel over here on the right side and upload my own replacement logo. One important thing that I'll point out about image widgets is the widget behavior. This is a great way to turn a simple image into more of a button. By defining widget behavior, you can actually tell Smartsheet when this widget is clicked on, redirect someone to a different site, or open a specific Smartsheet item, or the default, which is do nothing. It'll just be an image. This last option is for Smartsheet employees, so no worries if you're not seeing this within your own dashboard. I'll also mention that images are a great way to provide some structure to your dashboard. So you'll notice we have a couple images that I've used to just split up and organize my dashboard. So these lines to really separate the visualization from the text, from the metrics, and more. I also want to talk about going back to that idea of surfacing information from your underlying sheets and reports. And really, this is the key capability that most people think of when you think about a dashboard. There's going to be 3 key ways to do that, and we can go back into our widget list to talk about that. A metric widget allows you to select exactly the cells that you want to surface from your underlying sheet and include that live information. So for example, our project health is a metric widget coming from our underlying sheet. And again, I can edit to see more information about where that's coming from, change the format for how I want to view this information, and also define that widget behavior. If, for example, I want someone to click on the health and be taken to my sheet, I can do that. The rest of these widgets that we have with this important data about how our project is tracking are all metric widgets. And you can see the different ways to format those, either selecting one piece of information and really making it large and important, or selecting some of those smaller details and having multiple cells within a single widget. If you want to include more than just a few cells, this is where a report widget, which we have at the very bottom of our dashboard, is going to come in. We already looked at what a report does. So a report is a way to bring together information from multiple sheets, which here we're focused on a single sheet. It allows us to select exactly the columns we want from that sheet and apply a filter. So it's really multiple different criteria that you set to create a view of exactly what's important from that underlying sheet. Using a report widget, we're able to embed a report directly into our dashboard. And I have a couple here because with reports having a specific purpose, creating several different reports allows you to really have exactly the information you need in your dashboard. With a report, if you have two date columns, you have the ability to incorporate a Gantt chart, and you'll see a toggle here. You can hide or surface the formatting that's in that underlying sheet, which I typically like to hide it. As you can see, it makes for a cleaner report. And just like we looked at with our image widget, we're able to define the widget behavior. The last way that you're going to incorporate data from those underlying sheets and reports is with charts. The chart widget is where you can select data from either of those sources, and you're going to select how you want to view that data. So which columns you want to include, the chart type, and then of course continuing to customize information like widget behavior, which we've looked at, the labels on your axes, and the series is where you're able to actually change those colors. This is also where we can take a look at one of the newer capabilities that we discussed, which is the ability to customize the colors that are included on your dashboard. So for example, I do not typically like to include red unless I'm communicating negative information. So I'm going to come into my series, select budget remaining, and this is where I can customize the color that I'm going to select. You'll see we do have our standard colors, and I can select custom color and really choose either with hex or RGB the color that I'd like to include in my chart. And also this is a great way to incorporate those brand colors to make sure that instead of using our default settings, your entire dashboard, all the way from the title to the chart, can have a common color theme. The last category of widgets that we've talked about is related to external content. So we have our shortcut widget over here where we already have links to the project plan sheet, my assigned tasks report, as well as the project folder where all of these items live. And the shortcut widget, you can have links to external items as well. So if your team manages their work in an external tool like Jira or Salesforce, this is a great place to link them. If you need to link them to other Smartsheet items, important files or documents, all of that can go in the shortcut widget. Lastly, in addition to simply linking out of the shortcut widget, you can use the web content widget to incorporate live content into your dashboard. You're going to see here that you can incorporate items from Google, from Microsoft, so different documents, videos, even other charts. So if you have information that is more robust or detailed in Tableau, you can embed that directly into your dashboard, embed a Smartsheet form, and more. Typically, embedding a web content widget is as simple as copying a URL and pasting it. Now that we are done reviewing, building, and customizing our dashboard, I'm going to go ahead and change my dashboard background back to white. And this is going to be a key for any dashboards that I create. I personally think they look a lot more cleaner and streamlined and easy to read with a white background because my widget backgrounds are all white as well. Now we've gone through and taken a look at those 3 new areas that we have released recently for working in a dashboard, as well as these different widget types to become familiar with how a dashboard is structured. Next, let's head back to our slides, and I do want to talk about some of the upcoming capabilities that are going to be released soon to help you really continue to build out your dashboards in Smartsheet. We have some exciting new capabilities that are currently in development for dashboards as well. Currently, you can select a widget in a dashboard, copy and paste it. And one thing that we've had requested quite frequently is the ability to select multiple widgets. That is currently in development and going to be coming out soon, allowing you to work more efficiently by selecting multiple widgets, copying and pasting multiple widgets, and moving multiple widgets around. We have new chart types that are in development as well, and we recently released a reporting update that allows you to group and summarize with functions within a report. The results of this new capability, so the organized structure as well as that roll-up data, will be available in dashboards, and that's currently in development as well. Taking a step back and talking about this Smartsheet platform as a whole, we do have a new Smartsheet experience update coming up, and this is going to include some redesigned sheets, a personalized home experience where you can view all of the actions you need to take as well as recent items that you've worked on for easy access. We've updated the navigation to be more efficient, and we've updated our notifications to have more information before navigating to the underlying sheets those automations are from. As you can see, we have a lot that is in development and has come out as far as new product capabilities are concerned for Smartsheet. There's several different ways to stay aware of these. You can subscribe to product release notes, which gets you notified anytime important new capabilities are released. And for a lot of those capabilities, we also have corresponding webinars as we did today. And we also have a link to subscribe to that, which is just a monthly email letting you know what new webinar topics are being offered. We've recently released a new webinar series, which is going to provide best practices on the topics that you're currently seeing on your screen. In April, we'll also be holding a new product release roundup webinar, and this is a webinar where we will summarize the important capabilities that you need to be aware of that have been released in 2021 so far. So this is a great way to catch up on that first quarter releases in a simple half-hour webinar. To register for any of these, head on over to smartsheet.com/webinars. Lastly, we do have some resources that are available for you anytime. So visit the Smartsheet Learning Center for self-service learning tracks, videos, step-by-step instructions, and our webinar recordings. As we saw today in the demo, you can visit the Solution Center anytime for free templates. And if you're looking for more in-depth, on-demand, instructor-led, or activity-based training, as well as Smartsheet certification, head on over to Smartsheet University. Now, I want to thank everyone, as always, for joining us for today's webinar, and I do hope to see you all on April 8th for our product release roundup webinar. Thank you.